Yeah.
Oh my
Um, I-
God.
I'm sure y'all.
Have you ever tried to edit a recording, a
I have
recorded Zoom session?
never. I've had the urge, but I suppressed it really fast.
I have edited Zoom sessions.
You have? You can do that with like Windows Media Player or one of those.
I use Shotcut, which is a free video editor.
What's it called?
Shotcut.
Shotcut.
Shortcut.
I'll write that down.
Shot, S-H-O-T.
I do keep
Oh,
notes.
shot. Oh, shot.
Shortcuts. You have such a distinctive, wonderful accent, Adrian. It's wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, anyway. Not
It's
to
only
you.
distinctive if you're American.
That's what I mean. To me, but it's not if you're.
From my
where
point
you
of
are.
view, it's bog standard.
There you go.
Book standard. Get that?
Book standard.
Bog
I like
standard.
Book
that.
Bog,
standard.
B-O-G.
Please forgive me. I'm trying to do all this. I got the recording going, folks. So the meeting has officially started, and I'm very proud of myself for not only for wearing a clean shirt, but
Colleen, yeah.
that's
Howdy.
one of,
Hello.
and but also for remembering to start the recording this time. Hey, Mitch, who else do we have in
Hi
here?
there.
I don't see anybody.
Colleen.
I see Colleen. I see Mary and Bill. There's Bill. Hello,
Claudia.
Colleen. We have. Okay, I'm getting to know this. What was that song you had in your thing? I'm going to sing today, Michelle. You posted.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, she posted this note. I'm sure everybody read it in our Zoom discussion thread about getting to know you, getting to know. You remember doing that?
Yeah,
Oh,
indeed,
all
indeed.
about you. Okay, from the
I
king
wasn't
and.
sure everybody would know it was a lyric.
Oh, I think we do. I think we do.
It was
Today's
a test.
Whoops.
Why was LibriVox down? Does anybody know?
Oh,
I don't know.
I would say from about 10:30, 11 o'clock last
Yeah.
my time. I would say until I don't know.
Most of the time and most of the day, I think.
At least 12, at least 10 hours.
Yes.
Nobody, I don't, no idea what happened, but I was, if any of
Okay.
y'all tried to get on, it was down. It was, the server didn't work.
It happens. I find that it happens frequently. Once every couple of months it goes down.
Really?
Probably for maintenance, like something. Who does that?
I don't even know who hosts our server.
Is it archive?
Hi.
Well,
Internet Archive, yeah.
I have no idea who hosts the server.
I
Well,
suppose it's
when I-
archive.
No,
When
I
I
don't think
noticed
so.
LibriVox was down, I tried to open archive and it did open. So
Yes. Archive was fine. It was just LibriVox.
No, we have our own server. That's what we got the notices about. Don't overload our server or whatever. I don't know.
Who actually manages that?
I don't know.
no, no.
There's a man called Artom, who, hello, Helen. Oops, I can't hear you. And I maybe if one of the people on there, hey, I see you smiling. One of the people who knows where all that is, it might be useful to know. I just think it's magic. It's all magic. Today I'm going to share screen. I don't see anybody else waiting to come in here. And I'm going to show you some suggestions. We're going to be talking today, sharing our ideas about where is Zoom going? What are we going to do? I'm going to share screen. Now watch this. Getting to know you. Well, shoot. It doesn't seem to want to do it. I'll do it this way.
Adrian, did you put a white sheet up behind you?
There we go. There you go, Phil.
Okay, you see me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, it's a
I-
new
I-
thing.
I thought it would show each of my
Later.
tabs that I had. I opened tabs thinking that I would be able to pick which one, but it doesn't. You have to pick one and then manually swap.
Try
Not
selecting
really.
another tab.
No, not really. If you select show screen, it will show your whole screen. And it looks like
Well,
you've got tabs across the
well.
top. It won't pick them.
I've got tabs.
Yeah.
It only picked one of them out.
Okay, pick.
But anyway, it's irrelevant.
Okay.
I mean,
Actually, I mean, but
Okay,
it's,
Mary's.
you could share your whole screen if you select whole screen.
I thought I was. Well, I'm going to do it this way. Let's see if there's any. How do I tell if there's anybody waiting? Participants. Yeah, Lawrence is in there. Okay. This is the LibriVox discussion thread, and Mary was kind enough to share some ideas with us. Let's start with the ideas that we're going to talk. Hopefully, we'll end this meeting with a pretty good idea of what people would like to do to continue Zoom, and if so, in what format. The first question is who would be hosting Zoom? I understand that the pro pan we have. Pardon me.
Is that a landline?
Yeah.
Wow.
Your car's warranty is about to expire.
I have to have one. I'm sorry. Up there that goes again.
This is your last chance to correct your credit.
Hey, your auto insure, your auto,
That's
whatever. We
Yeah.
get a lot, and in fact, I've unplugged all the phones except this one here because of problems with whatever. Okay, I forgot what I was like. What was I saying?
Mary had given you a list.
Host the Zoom sessions.
Okay, participants, waiting room, Shelley Brandon. By the way, I want to welcome everybody. Let's see, Helen Lawrence is here. Mitch Scarver. Okay. All right. Anyway, we want to decide how we're going to do this. Now, several people have offered to host to start with. Even if we decide to do this once a month, bi-weekly, things like that, someone has to do it. Michelle, I think, had volunteered at one time. I don't know. And then Adrian.
Yep.
Bill, did you volunteer? No, you didn't volunteer. Oh, Lordy. So I'm going to let you, like your teachers tell, I'm going to let y'all discuss that within yourselves while I go take care of my wife. She has a problem. Pardon me. Okay. Pick it up. Anybody that wants to talk can talk.
Well,
I had a quick question. This is Helen. We have been trying to figure out how to get Audacity on our Mac version, on our Mac. It's saying that Audacity download doesn't support our version. We've upgraded our system and everything like that. So it's a recent version on my MacBook Air. Do you have any recommendations of how, it just says to get in touch with the developer to get him or her to do the most recent version? Do you have any suggestions? Because I've tried using GarageBand and the only thing I can't seem to do is save it to mono. Any suggestions?
No, sorry.
No, sorry, not a
I've
Mac
got a
user.
suggestion. I've heard that there were problems with the Mac and Audacity with some particular version, and then there was a workaround, but it was way too complicated. There is a software called Reaper that should work for Mac. It's free, kind of. They do want you to pay for it, but it's also pretty cheap. It's $60, but you can use it for free. It's called Reaper. And there's a little bit of a learning curve, but there's a lot of good YouTube videos. And
Okay. Reaper, like R, like Reaper?
yes, like the Grim Reaper.
Oh, Reaper. Okay. Is there any other one out there that, and I don't understand why GarageBand wouldn't work, but I've tried a few different, I've tried to do it a couple times, but we keep having to go back to testing because I can't seem to save it to a mono. But is there any other than Reaper that we would look for?
Well, I think Waves. Something Waves or
Okay.
Waves something.
Had you been using Audacity on the Mac and now you had to upgrade and now it's not working?
Not at all. Nope. We've just started to do our tests to get on, and we're not. Yeah, no, it's doesn't. Audacity just keeps saying when we download it that it's not the right version and that we have to contact the developer. And I don't think that that's working. So I just, in general, it's not an updated version of Audacity. So we're just trying to find an alternative one.
There's tons and tons of people who use Audacity, like not just us. So have you tried just Googling the problem? Like, I can't upgrade to version whatever, because
yeah, I'll give that a go. No, I didn't. Yeah.
You know, if somebody's got a solution for it, it would be on discussion and support board somewhere. That's what I usually find when I'm having problems with stuff.
Yeah, it's Facebook.
Sounds good.
Too.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I would suggest is if it's a recent problem, keep on searching on that for, you know, a couple of weeks, because if you're not going to be the only one having the problem. So they will end up having to issue a patch or a new version that'll be compatible.
All right, we will keep trying. Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that, Helen. I want to second that opinion about going to the Audacity help boards. I do that more than I want to admit. And amazingly enough, they usually have an answer for whatever I'm confused about.
And
yeah, I
very
think
helpful.
the people on LibriVox are very niche with their use of Audacity. And like most of us know how to do the 3 or 4 things that we do, but there are like serious power users out there of Audacity that understand all of the functions and all the back end and everything that I have no clue about. I can just like, you know, push a few buttons and get the effects that I need. But the people who do music and stereo recording and track mixing and all that kind of stuff have much deeper understanding.
Yes. Okay. Well, obviously, my class has gotten off topic here. I'm just joking with you.
As it happens when the teacher leaves the room, we all start talking amongst ourselves.
We start talking and chit-chatting. I really want to hear Helen record something. Helen, have you recorded anything? Yes, she's shaking her head.
Well, that's Elsa. That's my daughter. I haven't, but my daughter Elsa has done her test. Yeah.
Oh, she's just done her test? Okay. Well, anyway, let's get this straightened out. But what we're talking about, I don't know why I feel, I don't know why I feel obligated. It's because I have a clean shirt on. You noticed I did. I'm bragging about that. I normally don't wear a clean shirt, but this is I just washed it. And the host has to have those obligations, one of which is to wear a clean shirt. So, whoever hosts this has got to accept responsibilities. So what's the consensus here? Any ideas?
Google the problem.
Oh,
like Colleen
we
said.
we never got to the Zoom thing. We were only talking about.
I'm coming
Audacity thing.
back to the Zoom thing. I think that sometime along the way here, so I think somebody wants to get in. Let's see. No, we have to decide whether. Suppose whatever we decide on when we're going to have the next Zoom, someone will have to accept the responsibility and say, "Oh yeah, I can do that." Who is it going to be? We had 2 volunteers.
And I think that's probably the right way to do that, is not to get it set in stone for the next year or 2, but just to say who wants to do the next Zoom session.
Yeah,
and let that person be the host, and then let that unfold, and then 2 weeks later, or somebody else can host the next Zoom session. There is a bit of a up learning curve. You can't just sign in. You also have to know how to operate the platform.
Yes.
Settings and letting people in and all kinds of stuff that
Yes.
you have to learn, which I'm learning, and I know Adrian is learning, and I don't know who all else is learning, but we're getting up to speed on it.
Well, I'll tell
I'd
you
like
what.
to tell you a little bit of what's happening to me. I told Phil this the other day, but my son surprised me the other day by saying, I want to sign up for LibriVox, Mom. And can you teach me how to edit and stuff? And I was like, do you have a Zoom? I think I can do that. So I have been Zooming with my son and teaching him the platform and how to get around.
Cool.
And there's an awful lot of stuff that a newbie can certainly learn by a Zoom session, either with an individual or with a group. And it takes a while. There's like y'all saw me the other day sharing my phone screen. That was a learning curve. I think the next time it happened, it would be easier, and the next time it would be easier. But like with my son, I'm going to be recording our sessions as I get better, and he's willing to be my guinea pig and try to hold him down to 30 minutes. And then maybe do like what Phil's doing is putting them up on the wiki once they get good enough to where they're explanatory enough. Any of us could do that. Colleen, you'd be great at that, you know?
Me.
All of us, yeah. You just have to learn the platform. You can't just go in. Adrian, you know that. You gotta learn the tricks of the platform, but any of us could do that. And then I have things I'd like to share, but I don't want to run every meeting, you know.
Well, Michelle, how about, would you be volunteering? I'm sorry. Would you be volunteering to hold at least the next meeting?
I can hold a meeting. I can hold a meeting if y'all figure out a good topic.
Well, no, let's start with.
I mean, I said I would do one on covers, on how do you make covers was the one that I said I would do, but I don't know if y'all are interested in that. That might be a specialty, you know.
Okay.
Start.
I think it's a great start, Michelle. I think it's a great start. I'm going to accept that you're going to give it a jump and try next meet, at least for one. Okay. Next meeting. And
well, I mean, let's find out what people are interested in.
Oh,
who's got something to share?
Okay, Adrian.
Yes, thank you. So I think before you start talking about the difficulties of using a new tool, the far more important thing is to understand what you're trying to achieve. And my assumption about what you were trying to achieve proved to be different about what it turned out you were trying to achieve, which was to get more people who are on the Facebook page, but not LibriVox volunteers to be involved. That's what I think you were trying to do from what you said. And what I assumed you would be doing was actually communicating amongst the people, sharing tips and techniques and so on. In other words, for people who are already engaged. So there's already a kind of mismatch of expectations there. So it's okay to say, well, we can have a meeting, but what is the goal of the meeting? And just having a chat could be as a perfectly good goal, but we should set our target, and then that affects what the contents of the meeting is going to be, how you try and advertise it.
Let me clarify that. No, in fact, one of the goals of this meeting and my original purpose was to find a way to help LibriVox as a recording institution be better. How can we use Zoom to further our mission of recording audiobooks? My original thought was to help newbies by having a regular join this newbie meeting here and we'll talk about your problems. But that didn't turn out because of time zones. It's just impossible to schedule it when people would want to join. So no, my thing is not, I welcome listeners, but no, my goal was, and it is, how can we use Zoom to help us in recording and getting books, audio books made. Is that clarified?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you asked.
So, if we could write down the goal, and then we got something to work towards.
Well, now, do you go to the
Well, I
Zoom
think different
discussion
ones
thread?
of us have different goals.
I put this in the discussion thread.
Because if we each come to it, it may be that one person runs the meeting with one type of set of goals and another person runs it. For instance, somebody might want team building, so they'll do team building things.
Right.
Somebody might be interested in encouraging different types of literary appreciation, and so ask people to bring materials that they particularly like. Others might want to talk about how to edit effectively and how to record and how to position your microphone. By the way, my microphone is there.
Interesting.
So, a whole bunch of different things. And actually, I think variety could be the spice of this rather than settling into, the same kind of pattern each time.
Yes. Okay. Well, once
agree.
again, we have to have a framework, meaning like at least we'll have it once every couple of weeks, and maybe the host could decide, is it going to be a chit chat? Is it going to be a tutorial? Is it going to be, something like, or a bunch of tutorials? I'd sign up for that. So, thank you. Michelle, go ahead.
Did y'all hear what Trisha wrote? When I submitted whatever I put on there, which I can't remember now, about the tutorial on how to make basic cover making. Trisha said, and I said I could PM people who showed interest in it. She said I could also just use the discussion thread and announce that I'm holding this, that I'm going to hold this on such and such an hour, such and such a day, and whoever shows up, shows up. And my responsibility is just to be there and see who shows up.
Yeah, this looks like something we need to talk about.
You could do that too.
Notice that we have.
Can I say something?
Yes, you may. Go ahead.
My suggestion is to separate the who's going to run meetings and handle the technical aspect volunteer with what the programming of the meetings is going to be. Like, I don't think necessarily like if Phil's going to run the meeting or Michelle's going to run the meeting, they also need to be doing a presentation that meeting. I mean, you can, but I think just throwing out there that whoever wants to have a meeting can host the next meeting is going to devolve into nothing happening pretty quickly. So I kind of suggest that we line up people who feel technically adept enough to do the Zoom meeting side, and get and figure out like how often we're going to have the meetings and stuff, and then we can at either later in this meeting or at another meeting lay out a tentative schedule for a couple of weeks or a couple of months worth.
So like the host doesn't necessarily need to, the host runs the meeting, technically hosts the meeting, but doesn't necessarily need to be the presenter.
Yeah.
Multiple hosts, multiple presenters.
Yeah.
I'm all in favor of that. How about, I want to stop a minute and back up. Apparently everybody doesn't know that we have a Zoom announcement thread. Can you see this on your?
Yeah.
Obviously, okay, we have a Zoom announcements thread. That's a sticky. And then we also have a Zoom discussion thread where people have been throwing up wonderful ideas and talking about things. And so I'm coming to my obviously everybody doesn't know that. It ain't the ideal method, but anyway, I just wanted to show that we have two things devoted to Zoom.
Let me just say this, please. The discussion thread, Jen, who's not here today, specifically asked, could somebody give a tutorial on how to create covers? And I answered back, yes, I could do that. I would be happy to do that. There was no time announced for it, but the feeling that I had is that I'm pretty good at this, and I'd love to share what I know in this little niche. Okay, there's a little niche that I know. Maybe not everybody wants to make covers, but those that do, I have some things that I can share with them. Probably each one of you have a niche, a niche. Like Bill made a presentation a while back on how he finds out on Internet Archive how many views all your stuff has got. That was a niche. Maybe not everybody was interested, but it was quite a nice little niche. So I'm motivated to teach the little niches that I know. And y'all are probably motivated maybe to do the same thing. Adrian, I bet you are.
Yes, I'm quite happy to share my ignorance with anybody.
Oh, gee.
That'll cost you.
Okay, so, okay, Mary?
Well, I think, like Michelle says, everybody has a little niche. And I think the thing that's good about that is, it kind of gives people an idea of what all is involved with doing something for LibriVox, with recording a book or whatever, because, it's like, I had no idea what the MC did, until they talked about a little bit that, some of the stuff that needs to be done. And I think it helps people where if you understand more, it's like, people think, oh, all I have to do is read this book and I can send it in and make sure I don't mispronounce words and it's done. And I think people appreciate, even if, I never planned to make a cover, but if I know what goes into making a cover, I appreciate it more and I understand more what all it takes to do a book for LibriVox. And I think people might be interested in that. It might be something you never planned to do yourself, but then you have a better idea of what's involved. So I think that's a good idea.
Right, exactly. And so like Todd did his thing on the dramatic productions. I'm not interested in dramatic productions, but I did find it fascinating what he, that his involvement in it, as his enthusiasm was electric, it was just electrifying. And I'm sure every last one of you has something that you can share.
I'm not.
To me, that's it's the motivating factor is if you have something to share, then you share it.
Right.
I'm not usually
how you get that across, like
readings, but Zoom could be used for dramatic readings, live recordings. People could play off of each other.
True.
Like the table reads that the Hollywood people have been doing during this whole pandemic thing.
That would be fun. You see, that would just having fun together would be good too.
Yeah, I was going to say my main goal for all of this, it's nice to learn this stuff. But I have just really wanted to connect and know who these folks are that I see their names on the boards and I listen to your books. And I am really enjoying that part and would love to see either some time set aside or some Zoom meetings set aside just for like hanging out and talking about stuff. Like maybe having a loose topic like, the favorite book I did or the thing I had to abandon or
wouldn't that be fun?
Pet peeves or whatever.
That would be great.
I really like the learning stuff too. But what I was saying about trying to schedule like, a commitment to host the meetings and worry about the topics later is I don't want people to feel like Michelle sounded like she was saying like she had to host a meeting because she wanted to do this topic. I think we should set up a structure and then slot in topics and stuff. So the people who want to do presentations don't have to feel like they have, if you want to do a presentation on anything technical, you're going to have to learn how to share your screen and that kind of stuff. But if you also feel like you have to run a meeting, then you need to learn how to get people into the room, record the meeting, upload the meeting. There's a bigger skill set. So if we can get a group of people who are committed to just like taking care of the organizing, the setting up a meeting and running the meeting, and then letting people who want to do presentations just, pick a week and schedule that. And then you only have to worry about your own little segment. And also the person who's actually running the meeting just has to worry about showing up and running it and recording it and not necessarily also performing.
So could I make
in a minute? Okay. I'll be right there, honey. Sorry.
So could I make a suggestion?
Yes.
why don't we find, if we can find, say, 3 people who are willing to work together to organize the meetings, then I think it's viable, because we're not relying on a single person.
Mhm.
And they could then get together outside this and work out, schedule and how to invite people and so on.
Okay, I agree.
I think that's a really good idea.
The framework, like Colleen mentioned and Adrian mentioned, is the first thing that needs to be done. And I want to mention that there is nobody in charge of Zoom, folks. Zoom is something that we're doing with LIbriVox because we like the idea, but nobody is in charge. No admin is. I mean, so we can do what we want. I agree. Let's on 1, 2, or 3 ones that would set up the framework that would be willing to host it. Let's work on that right now. Do I have any volunteers? One, Adrian, Michelle,
Colleen.
Colleen?
I know nothing except how to click on a link and come into Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I
don't know
guess.
anything about running a meeting or anything. And I also
Can I say something here?
And one of the topics that we could teach in a Zoom session is how to the inner workings
how to
of
run a Zoom session.
Zoom session.
What I was
Yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
say
why
was
not?
I
You
would be
know?
willing to, I can't volunteer right off the bat, but I'd be willing to, get up to speed on the Zoom framework and be able to step in as people get tired of it and want to step back. But
Lawrence,
I don't
you wanna
feel like
say
I'm
something?
competent to do it right now.
Lawrence?
No, I'm just not sure my mic is working, but I see now that it is. So sorry about that. I've been tapping on my.
That's okay. Hey, good voice, Lawrence. Yeah.
Colleen, I think operating the tool is the least important part of this. It's the organizational skills, and if you've done any BCing, then you will have those skills in spades.
Yes,
that's
true.
I do feel like I'm still working up the learning curve on that, and for 2 reasons. First of all, I'm 54 years old, and I was finally diagnosed after suspecting for years with ADHD 3 years ago, and I'm still working out the executive functions and how to organize things. And one of the things that I like about LibriVox is that the stakes aren't so high when I drop a ball for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I feel like I've gotten more competent with juggling things, I feel like I'll be more ready to step up. But and also I'm in the midst of my first BCing, and I wanted to do more BCing, and that actually takes a lot of brain power from me, because I don't know if anybody else has ADHD, but like I waste so much brain power on getting and staying organized and just like figuring out how to stay on track of stuff. And it feels bizarre to be doing this late in life and having had whole careers and stuff, but that's where I am. And so I'd be really nervous about jumping in and committing to this stuff and then feeling like I got over my head.
You don't have to.
So that's kind of why I want to sit back and learn more before I commit to something.
Okay.
This is one other thing that is great about Zoom. We can have Zoom meetings, but we can also, Colleen, you can PM me and say, let's do a private, you could ask somebody to do a private Zoom session with you one-on-one, which is kind of what Phil was talking about, and say, let's talk about your issues and I'll coach you through that. To me, that's very exciting.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like dump all of that, but that's kind of where I'm at, and
that's what's going on.
Why I'm nervous about jumping in on this.
I secretly suspect that many of us have got some degree of ADHD.
Yes,
because this is the kind of project that attracts that kind of person.
Absolutely.
I've got a very tiny comfort zone.
I've got one question. Phil has been putting all of these on his YouTube channel, and it's nice because there's some people that can't make it to a Zoom meeting for various reasons, but then they can go on YouTube and see what's happened. So does that mean if we get, like, say 3 different people to host it, will we all have to have a YouTube channel,
No.
so we can put the things up on YouTube?
No, I don't
Or,
think
or
so.
can we just use Phil's channel, or how does that work?
Well, YouTube has a new thing now called brand channel, where an organization can have a channel and multiple people can contribute to it.
Oh, that
I've
would be a
just
good
learned
thing.
about it. Yeah, it's brand new. So
So
That
a
would be good.
LibriVox channel.
yeah,
LibriVox YouTube channel.
Let me answer Mary. I didn't know about the brand channel either, Lawrence, but basically anyone that would record the meeting, you can record it on your computer if you wish. Then you can upload it to a free thing like Dropbox or Google Docs or anything you want, and then just link to that online and put that link into the forum. What I do is I go to what is it, discussions, or no, the announcement thread, and I said, here's the new link, and the link, you could link to anywhere. It just happens to go to YouTube because I use that a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
LibriVox Zoom videos are all over the internet.
Say that again.
The LibriVox Zoom videos are all over the internet. They're not in any
Really?
location.
All over the.
That's going to be the end result.
Yeah, I'm
6 on
concerned
YouTube,
about that
3 on
too. It would be-
Dropbox, 18 on Google.
Right.
Some here, some there.
Yeah. Okay.
They need to be collected in one place.
It's like Bitcoin.
Zoom
has anybody
videos.
has anyone watched Adrian's videos?
Lawrence, why don't you
Oh,
check
absolutely.
into this
Great.
LibriVox YouTube channel and give us a report next visit on how that works.
They'd want to know who is in charge of LibriVox. We wouldn't know what to tell them because there ain't nobody in charge of LibriVox. But I can check it out.
Hey,
Okay.
Phil, can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may. Who is the? Oh, Adrian. Yes.
No, it's me.
No, it's Lawrence.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Adrian has started. Okay. Who takes care of the financial part of LibriVox?
Nobody. Well, I shouldn't say that. We don't have any financial. We don't have anybody that does that. People donate, and it goes to a fund inside of Internet Archive.
Oh, okay.
And about 5 years ago, we pulled that out and we hired somebody to do some programming for us. And they got about, I would say, 3/4 of the way through our list, and then we ran out of money. So actually, nobody.
So it's still
How much money is in the account now?
We don't know. I have no idea.
So it's still under the umbrella of the Internet Archive?
Yes, it is. They collected. It's when you donate, it goes to you have to say this is for LibriVox, and it goes to a box, which they keep for us. I don't know. It could be a couple $1,000.
Huh.
One weekend I
Not very
couldn't
much.
sign on, and I thought, what if LibriVox just died? What would I do? I'd be lost.
Well, we're not going to run out of money because we don't have any. So it's it's cool.
Well, that's
Somebody has to like renew the URL and the host. Well, I guess the hosting is Internet Archive, but the domain registration and stuff.
Yeah.
That's handled.
right.
Okay. That's that.
Adrian's looking good.
Okay. We're getting off here. I would like to step back a second. Do we have a secretary taking notes or anything? Michelle?
Yes, I
Okay.
take notes.
I would like to motion as simply a bunch of people here that Michelle, the next meeting will be hosted by Michelle or Adrian or me. I'll be the third volunteer if we want to rotate this. And
Adrian, you go first.
okay, Adrian, was that okay with you?
Because he's kind of a professional. You go first.
I'm mainly retired now, but yeah, I'll go first.
And
you go first. You go first. I'll go second.
So
I'll go third. Okay.
Can you all PM me with ideas for what you would like to do?
Sure.
I want to hear Michelle's thing on covers. That's a mysterious thing, but okay. So you see, that's how easy it is, folks. It's cool, and we all have ADHD, by the way. I'm sure we got to. The next question is when? 2 weeks from now. Any suggestions? We lost
The
some people.
same time works for me. Obviously, I'm in the UK, but I'm in the minority here.
What
Well,
time
but
is it over
this
there?
works for
Hi,
me too
Helen.
because I'm in Germany, so this is a good time for me too.
Okay.
Okay, because you're a late night person, right? Midnight.
And no,
2
it's only 6
This
p.m. here.
afternoon.
Yeah, 12 noon is
Oh,
5 p.m. Zulu. For my one of my service days, I remember Zulu time.
We changed our clocks last night.
Is
Yes.
that Greenwich time?
Yes, that's Greenwich time.
Can I make an announcement? A little
Yes, you
short,
may.
interesting little announcement. So last week, you know, I tried to share my iPhone screen, and that lady Adele was her name. She was there from the
Melody.
LibriVox audiobooks.
Yes, Melody.
Her name. I contacted her, and we're going to have a Zoom session this week, and she is really interested in upgrading the LibriVox audiobooks format. She and I are going to have a private Zoom session.
Yes.
About upgrading that format. So I'm all excited about that.
Yes.
See, it's so exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not about exactly recording, but it is LibriVoxy, if you ask me. It's how do people listen. I love it.
I'm very glad you contacted her. You know, this is like, I hate to say this, like herding a bunch of cats. You guys minds are all over the place. So we have agreed upon Adrian is kind enough to host the next Zoom meeting. We haven't agreed on a date or a time. Would y'all be willing to talk about that now?
2 weeks today at the same time.
Yes.
Right.
2 weeks.
Molto bene.
You make it
Can
so
some-
easy. Oh, you
So
speak
2 weeks
Italian?
is November the 8th. November the 8th.
Now,
Okay.
you will not. I'll have to go in and make that announcement in the announcement thread. But Adrian, you can make that announcement in the discussion thread.
Okay. Phil, do you have an account, a paid account?
Yes. Thank you to somebody that paid for it. Yes. I have a pro account.
Yeah, I was just thinking it would be good to continue using the same account because then the link will be the same. I've also got my own paid account, but that would be a different link, obviously.
Oh, the
Need some research.
Yeah,
And
relevant.
it is possible for Phil to assign his account. You know, he can set up other admins, but I think only one at a time. Either he's an admin or he can assign someone else because it's based on email
Actually,
address.
let me ask you, Phil, rather than stating it. Would you prefer me to use my own account or would you prefer to use yours?
I'd prefer for you to use your own account.
Okay.
The link is irrelevant. You just post it up there and people click on it. Is that
Yeah,
right?
the problem is, or at least that I anticipate, is that people will go to a previous link and expect it to work.
Doesn't the number always change?
Yeah, I usually just automatically find like a post from Phil and click on the link in his signature.
You know, I do have started a recurring meeting, which does keep the same link apparently forever. You just keep using that. So maybe it may be best to use mine. What do y'all think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest.
Okay. I will switch it to you. I will have to do the research.
As long as you're there to open up the meeting, Phil, you can make me host or co-host, and then you don't need to do anything further with the meeting controls.
Wait a minute.
No, that's not true. He can if you go to the internet and look up change Zoom ownership or something, they allow the admin to assign another admin, and then the other admin can be the host without
Can Phil create
being involved at all.
That we give Adrian permission to create meetings and.
So no, with respect, the simplest thing is just at the start of the meeting to assign the co-host, which
But then he has to be there. That's the point.
right.
He has to
does
show
have
up.
to be there.
So it may not be
Okay.
the simplest thing.
It may not be the simplest way to do that then.
To appropriate LibriVox funds for a LibriVox Zoom account. Have some
Appropriate.
admins.
Shall-
log in.
You still have a problem. You couldn't have multiple admins.
Well, all I can say is we will have it at noon, 2 weeks from today, whether
Are
or
you
not.
still on daylight saving time there?
Yeah, we change next
We
Sunday.
won't be in 2
next
weeks.
Saturday.
That's a
so
good point.
that's-
We won't be in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. We change in
Yeah.
We
in
change
next
next week.
next week. I don't know what that's going to affect.
We
Well,
fall back, so it would be an hour earlier.
Have already coped with that because we had to allow the 1 hour less difference.
Okay, well then we'll just be matching you then. Okay.
Yes.
And as for topic, please PM, Adrian.
Yep.
What you think it should be? Should it be meet and greet? Should it be like I'd like to see Michelle's cover thing, the magic that goes on there, but everybody's available.
So I would
Have we
suggest,
had a, oh, sorry.
I would suggest we just build a list of topics and we'll take some for each meeting. So I'll share this with Michelle and Phil, what I get, and we can just take from the list. And once we discover what we enjoy doing in a format, perhaps, we'll know what to do better.
Okay. All right.
Keep it flowing. Keep it organic and flowing.
Organic and flowing. I really like this idea somebody had of everybody or people talking about what they're excited about. Helen gave us the thumbs up. Somebody did. I'm excited about a video I just finished. I'm really, this is cool. I'll talk about it maybe in a future meeting. But people are excited about projects and
what do you
things they
mean,
do.
video?
Of a training video I came up with that's meeting a really, really, really needy part. Anyway, took a lot of work, but anyway, but everybody's involved in something they're excited about. Next,
So one of the things my son is going to do, let me just say this about this training video. One of the things my son is going to do is record a short story, like 8 minutes, for the short story collection. And then he's going to email that to me. Then we're going to do a Zoom session where we go online and he watches me edit his 8-minute segment. He's going to we're going to set up his his keystrokes, and he's going to get to literally watch how the editing process goes. My editing process, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that we're going to record that too. That's going to be so much fun. It's going to be very powerful to be able to help people that way.
Yes, it is. The last thing, now that we've got the framework and we're going to continue on, it's an organic thing. The next thing is I want to ask y'all to think more about how can Zoom help LibriVox. We had 11 participants today? Yeah, about 11. And how can we help? How can Zoom, the platform, be used to help more people? How can it be used to help record books? Right now, we're sharing information and it's fun, but it's not, I don't know, maybe it could be used differently. So put your minds to work on that.
Foreign language tutoring, individual foreign language tutoring.
Foreign language.
Idea.
Great idea. When I post stuff, help me with this French phrase, please.
Mm-hmm.
Or Greek.
We can schedule a Zoom meeting.
Oh, or Greek or Latin.
Those dang Victorians just drop Greek words in Greek text into stuff, and you can't even figure it. You can't even sound that out. Come on.
They've got these quotes from Aristophanes. I mean, it's like
speakers.
Oh, sure, we have some Latin speakers here. I'm sure we do, especially in Europe.
Decus et tutamen.
It's that guy over there wearing the toga.
I have a project where they've got more Greek, Latin, and I'm sorry, I'm not anyway, let's just not talk about that. I'm trying to discourage it. So then we think about how we can, okay, that's one. A project on, what is it? Foreign language pronunciations.
Right.
Now we do have a thread on that. In case y'all don't know, we have a specific thread on help me pronounce this word. And of course the internet I use it all the time. You go to how do I pronounce, and people will tell you how to pronounce this word in Greek or
yeah, but you know,
Estonian or whatever the language happens to be. Mostly place names. I don't know place names. Okay, but what else? I never thought about that.
and
What
the
else?
dramatic reading recordings.
What?
A dramatic reading recording. Now that would be fun. A 1 hour, let's say a short play, we could do it in an hour and a half and read the whole thing through and record it right there. We could make an entire short play in one session, maybe.
So how error-free do you think we can read?
Well, it doesn't matter because somebody's going to have to edit it. No, I don't know.
It's a total free for all
No.
when somebody edits it.
And
Doesn't even need to be
I think we
edited.
can
They could
read
just
it.
be rehearsal.
It would be fun to try and record it, live, as it were.
Yes, I'd love to do that.
I think you'd probably have to do a read through.
Yes.
And like a Zoom read through that wouldn't necessarily be the finished recording, and then like do the recording so that everybody has a chance to kind of work through the bugs of whatever piece it is.
Okay, just a minute. I'm going to go here to.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, we're having more fun than we could shake a stick at. And my mommy used to say.
Okay, let me break the ice. That's someone who reads short stories, or in my case, micro stories. Record them in a Zoom session so that we're using Zoom as a camera. And so we have on-screen people like Colleen or Adrian or Claudia. They record a story on screen with Zoom, and so we go beyond the audio, and it's video also.
Oh,
Can I make a comment on this? I think the essence about Zoom is its communication between multiple people. If you want to record just a single person, then actually Zoom is the wrong tool to use, particularly if we care about the audio quality, because it's doing a lot of...
Yeah, it's not good audio quality.
So you could, for instance, record video using Zoom and record using Audacity at the same time, and then stitch the two together.
You don't like my audio quality?
Bill, I like Bill's idea about what he's saying is add a video effect to a short story or something like that, where you would see somebody actually reading it. I mean, they have on-stage performances like that, but I never thought about that either, Bill. You see, that old brain's working in there. Boy, you got white hair, but your brain's
some of us
hot.
like being a faceless voice, though. I don't necessarily like. Even I was making YouTube reading aloud videos, and I was just recording the sound and then putting it up against a still shot. I don't want people looking at me.
Colleen, you could put a mask on.
Continue talking. I'll have to go.
You could put a mask on, Colleen.
Yeah,
Mitch, Mitch, what is your user name?
Speakers.
Oh, okay. You're Realistic Speakers. I can't tell unless you type it in there.
Okay. Hi, Mitch. I see you everywhere.
Really? I know you're doing a State of the Union address.
Yeah.
How many?
All of them.
So I'm currently reading the Psalms. Trisha's got
the Renaissance ones, the Sydney.
Yeah, so Sydney, what's it? Yeah, it's really interesting because it's not text; it's just an image, and their C's and E's are identical, and their U's and their N's get confused a lot. So and because they've got really odd words, because he's forcing himself to fit a particular meter, but also to convey the same meaning as the ordinary biblical version, he has to jump through a lot of hoops and invents words. It's just
Okay, sorry.
interesting.
Y'all come up with more great ideas?
We were
If
just
not,
talking about our
I still
favorite.
really like the idea of setting aside either like half of each meeting or every other meeting for just doing this kind of chit chat.
Brainstorm, chit chat.
Yeah.
we like this.
Socializing.
Okay.
Socializing is good.
The host will be kind of semi-response. I know we wanted to take that away from him, or her, but the host really is going to have to be kind of responsible for saying, "Hey, you want to do this thing on, half a meeting is going to be on socializing, and the other half will be on how to set up Audacity or something." Somebody's got to be
So if someone
charge
puts
of
a
the meeting.
post on the forum and says, I would like to teach a tutorial on whatever, how to BC, and then the host could say, okay, this next meeting, I'll schedule you in for that, and I'll help you put that together.
A Zoom coordinator.
And maybe meet them privately and say, okay, let me make sure you know how to share your screen. The host could be doing things that are off, out of the meeting too. A little teaching people how to present what they know, other than just talking, teaching them how to share a screen. So the host could have duties a little wider than just simply showing up at the meeting. Right, Adrian?
Well, Adrian?
Yes. Of course,
That's what
another
you're
thing
gonna be
that
doing anyway.
gets is to mute people if they talk too much.
Mute people if they talk. Well, yeah, you got that power. Hey,
You mean like me?
No names mentioned, Michelle.
No, this has been a very productive
I'm
meeting.
talking that much.
That's all right. I didn't mean it.
We have not come up with any definitive answers on new ways to use Zoom to help but we have come up with continuing the framework. We have agreed to at least 3 more meetings, probably bi-weekly. Is that a word? Every 2 weeks?
Every 2, yeah.
Every 2 weeks is probably good, yeah.
Adrian, then Michelle, and then Phil. And then if anybody else gets inspired that wants to do it, that's fine with all of us. This is a group effort. Does anyone have any? And by the way, the time frame is flexible too. Yeah, Bill has something to say.
What about jokes on LibriVox? Has anyone ever done an entire 15-minute series of jokes?
You mean recording?
Yes.
Public domain jokes.
They have to be public domain.
If they're, I somehow that just doesn't compute.
No, Bill, but I say give it a shot. I think you'd be perfect for that.
My whole life is a joke, is what you're saying. Yeah.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know your life. Maybe you could share some of that with us. We might need a good laugh.
Yeah.
I have 2 suggestions for possible future Zoom things and the ways we could use Zoom. One is to maybe have a Zoom chat where people, or a segment of one of these meetings where people talk about how they found LibriVox and what they like about recording it. And then that being out there, like on Phil's channel or something like that, could be something that could help people find it and want to volunteer too.
Yes. I mean, I'd be interested in hearing any story that has to do with how they found LibriVox. I'd be very interested in hearing stories about new people, the difficulties apparently of registering. Apparently, it ain't easy. A lot of people fall by the wayside, and then of trying to do their 1-minute test.
Yeah, getting that 1-minute test and the people who jump in and claim a section and then you never hear from them again.
Right.
I would love to figure out how to get people over those hurdles.
I mean, they've been through the hard part, and now they just simply don't do it. It could be the editing. Editing ain't easy. You can get through all the stuff of downloading it, getting a software, learning how to record, and then you hit editing, and it's like, whoa, I'll have to edit this thing. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know. Thank you, Colleen. Well, folks, I appreciate you coming. It's been fun. I promised y'all. What did I promise y'all? Crawfish jambalaya, crawfish pie, and filet gumbo.
Yeah, I'm
They should be
waiting.
arriving at jambalaya crawfish. Should be arriving any minute at your homes. That's a song down here. Anybody not heard that song?
No.
Colleen, you said two things. Two
Oh,
things.
the other one was to have a holiday party, a holiday Zoom
yeah.
party. Like that's
Got
just,
my vote.
I missed
you know,
that. A holiday.
Christmas time?
beverage of choice, funny hat, whatever, and
Turkey and all the
just a
stuffing.
goof off Zoom meeting.
Which holiday did you have in mind?
Well, I think almost everybody has off for Christmas, whether or not you observe it. So maybe on Christmas or around Christmas.
Sure.
Or New Year's Day, if you don't want, because I think
Helen-
people have more family obligations on Christmas.
Helen gives a great big thumbs up for that. I'll do that too. Thank you, Helen.
Hanukkah. Let's do it on Hanukkah.
Then we have to do
Hanukkah. We'll do a Hanukkah. Yeah, Hanukkah. Absolutely.
Zoom dreidel.
Dreidel. I don't have any
Love
dreidels.
it. Love it.
We
The
can have.
story of the Maccabees is public domain. I'm sure of that.
She was-
Who is
yes, it
talking?
is. That's Helen's mama. I think that's Helen. Not is
No,
that
that's Helen.
Oh,
That's
Who's
Helen.
on screen is Elsa.
That's Elsa. That's
Elsa
right.
is on screen. Her mama is busy doing other stuff besides
And
just
Helen's busy.
hanging
Well,
out.
that's great. I like every holiday. Whatever it is, folks, I'll celebrate it. You know, Saint Bithmas Day,
Scarbo, what
great.
is
Let's
your
go.
username?
Boxing Day, let's go for it.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah.
Scarbo, what
okay,
is your username or
folks.
your real name? She's muted.
That's my username.
That's your username.
okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I really thank you all for coming today, and I look forward in 2 weeks. We won't have a meeting for 2 weeks. I will do my best to be here. I have some things coming up, whatever, but we'll see. Anybody, any last comments, gripes? Oh, a session on gripes. How
I
about
have
that?
one more comment.
Yeah.
I would love a session on gripes, but that's
I
me. I'm always posting to the don't you hate
every
thread.
single one of you. Yeah. Every one of you has Zoom on your own computer. And you don't have to have Phil's administrative privileges to have a little Zoom session.
Okay.
Like Colleen, if you and I wanted to have a Zoom session, we could just do it. Okay.
Right. That's right. It's a wonderful society. We are, like I said, we are not really part of LibriVox here, so we could have a gripe session too. We could say, man, that really ticks me off. We don't have to be nice. Okay, I'm gonna close this meeting down. I want to thank y'all again, even though y'all are extremely nice people, and my life is enriched by knowing all of y'all.
Feel the same
Likewise,
way.
Phil.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Phil.
you.
Doing
Thanks
great
for
job,
starting
Phil.
these up. I really
Yes.
like this.
Thank you.
Yes,
Oh, wait,
so
I
do
gotta
I.
give her. I
I
gotta
do too.
look.
Thank you.
I can give a thumb. I can give a clap. I can give a thumbs up. I can give a heart. Look at that.
That's cute.
Okay. Okay. Love y'all all. See y'all in 2 weeks.
See
All
you
right.
later.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.